I really believe that Newfield, this community, provides an opportunity for us to learn in a completely different way. In today's world, we often equate or collapse learning to simply acquiring information. Like, I need to get that and write it down and take good notes, and then I get it, and I now have what you have. It's like we're passing something from one person to the other. And here, well, yes, there is some of that kind of learning that does happen. There is something much bigger than that. It's a different kind of learning, a learning that invites the wholeness of who you are to come to the foreground. We are privileged in that we have this opportunity to have conversations. And conversations that are conscious dialogue. The word conversation itself the etymology comes from Latin, which means to turn or to change towards or together. So when we engage in conversation, we practice changing together, turning towards each other. And it's here that we have this capacity to really engage in profound reflection, in deep conversations, in not just everyday kind of talking, but actually to steep into a good conversation. The other etymology of the word conversation, going further back from the 14th century, has to do with the French. And in that tradition, in that lineage, there's a sense that conversation has to do with a place to dwell. So how are we dwelling together? We get to, together, co-create a space for dwelling, where we have this gift of time to be together. Often our world is very fast-paced, and it's very quick, and it's constantly moving. And so here we actually have a moment to pause, to reflect, to ask big questions, to check in around what are the stories and the narratives that are swirling and informing how we show up. And which of those are we blind to? Which of those do we actually see? How do we bring our own voice, our own deepest cares, our own values? How do we bring the fullness of our heart and ourselves into any given moment, so that we can bring forth our agency in terms of generating something new, something beautiful, something worth living into? And so I invite us to fall in love with questions, to hold big questions. We're in a time and in a place where everyone seems to be really addicted to answers. You can just Google it, AI it, and get all sorts of answers. And so how do we also sit in a question, in a deep inquiry or wonderment? How do we practice moving outside of certainty and into this place of curiosity? How do we contact that wonderment? And how do we examine our assumptions about life? What are we taking for granted, or what seems so completely obvious? So obvious that we've never actually examined it. We assumed it just was so. And so here we get to look at some of the essential ground that we have built our lives on.